Rediscover your past by digitizing your family's memories with Legacy Box. Watch until the end of this video to find out more about preserving your legacy, and then visit legacybox.com/recollection. Sears, prior to the 1980s, was an institution. The products and service were second to none, not to mention the things you bought there were reliable like no other. People purchased just about everything from Sears and swore by the brands they offered. The Sears Charge Card may have been your very first credit card. The shape of the card might be what you remember most, as it was not quite as tall as cards today. The card with gold lettering allowed you to buy things on credit from any Sears store or from their catalog. Sears is also to thank for the Discover Card, which was started by Sears's Dean Witter Financial Division and was the first no-fee cashback card. The Sears catalog was what made the company a household name. Between the pages, you could order anything under the sun and have it delivered to your home. This was a business model that was followed by countless other retail stores from the 20th century, but Sears was the king of the catalog. As the company grew, so did the number of pages, and it would take you quite some time to thumb through the whole thing. There was no better time than Christmas to get your copy of the Sears catalog in the mail. The Sears Christmas Wish Book became tradition in most households, with children wearing out the pages as they circled items and dog-eared corners as they made their Christmas list each year. Over the years, there has been no bigger name in tools than Craftsman. Every garage could be found with the well-built tools inside, and the Craftsman guarantee allowed you to get a replacement if you ever had one break. These tools have been passed down from father to son, usually in the iconic toolboxes that have the Craftsman name emblazoned on the lid. That's because the quality of Craftsman was so good, with the old tools still outperforming the modern ones. If you were lucky enough to own a Craftsman mower back in the day, then you know that just about the only thing you had to do was replace the blade, and it would still get the job done. That's how dependable the Craftsman name once was. One of the first things that would hit you as you stepped inside Sears was the smell of popcorn. As a kid, this made you want to head right to the popcorn and candy counter to get a treat before shopping. Remember the giant scale and the metal scoop that they would use to measure out the candy? This kept the kids happy and let mom and dad do the serious shopping, at least until they made it around to the toy section. Walking through Sears and arriving in the electronics section was something to behold. The rows of TVs that were the latest and greatest drew you in, but they also had the newest in technology when it came to radios too. The Silvertone brand was a popular consumer line of electronics for Sears, and it's one that dates back to 1916, when Sears sold phonographs. The Silvertone name could not only be found on radios, but also on musical instruments sold by Sears. Later on, new electronics like cordless phones were a big seller for Sears, and they stocked just about every model there was. When it comes to appliances, Sears offered some of the best names in the game. Starting with the brand Cold Spot, this was a line of refrigerators, freezers, and air conditioning units that kept things cool. The brand lasted well into the 1970s, when it was replaced by the Kenmore name. Prior to 1976, Kenmore was used on sewing machines, vacuum cleaners, and washing machines before it became a trusted name that was used on just about every major appliance around. From washers and dryers to ovens and refrigerators, the Kenmore name was known for being long-lasting. If for any reason there was a problem, Sears also had a fleet of service vehicles that would come to your house and make things right. During the 1960s, this was a fleet of aqua-colored vans that everyone could identify as a Sears vehicle. Do you remember walking into Sears and heading up to the top floor to find cashiers waiting on customers who were there to pay their monthly bills in person? Typically, you would head there to pay down the credit card or make a layaway payment. In the waiting area, they would even have a coin-operated cartoon booth for the kids that played Heckle and Jekyll, Woody Woodpecker, and even Mighty Mouse, which kept the kids busy while Mom paid her bills. If popcorn wasn't the first thing you smelled, then it might have been the smell of tires. The Sears Auto Center was once the go-to place to have maintenance performed on your car. You could find tires, batteries, and the full-service convenience that Sears offered. Sears Auto Centers introduced us to die-hard batteries and the name Allstate, which began as a tire brand on the showroom floor of Sears before being spun off into an insurance company. Sears also carried a complete line of sporting goods, which covered just about every sport. One brand that stands out was the line that included Ted Williams' name. Baseball gloves, bats, and other gear was available with the Ted Williams signature burned into it. You might also remember some other Ted Williams sporting goods like fishing rods and firearms, all personally tested and approved by Ted Williams. Another brand you would see a lot of while perusing the sporting goods was Free Spirit bicycles. These road bikes were pretty basic, but for many of us, this was the brand of our very first bicycle, and it seemed like half the neighborhood kids had one too. The toy section at Sears was usually the last stop, and we only made it here if we were good. The aisles of toys with their brightly colored packaging and overhead signage announcing Toy Town meant you had arrived. It was as if the Sears wish book had come to life, and everything was at your fingertips. This was a great way to end the shopping trip, and maybe, just maybe, you left there with something special. As you checked out and exited the store, the familiar motto that Sears was built on, "Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back," was the last thing that you saw as you left. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and maybe even consider supporting the channel over on Patreon. Recollection Road has partnered with Legacy Box because we're both all about preserving the past. Why not do the same with your own family home movies and photos? Legacy Box is the simple, safe, they've thought of everything solution for converting your home movies and photos to thumb drive or the cloud. Just send in your Legacy Box filled with old VHS and camcorder tapes, film reels, and pictures, and get back digital copies that can be easily enjoyed, shared, and kept organized. It's that easy. Not only is Legacy Box trusted by over 1 million people, but it's professionally digitized right here in the USA. Get started preserving your past today. Go to legacybox.com/recollection to get an incredible 55% off. Buy today to take advantage of this exclusive offer and send in your memories when you're ready. Go to legacybox.com/recollection to save 55% while supplies last. If you enjoyed this video, consider watching this playlist, and then visit the channel to search the Recollection Road Library. As always, thank you so much for watching.